BWA. It's Stacey Evans-Morgan, veteran television writer here and producer, and I'm so happy to be here for this amazing, amazing session, Creating Your World. And instead of boring you with a bunch of PowerPoints and slides and things of that sort, I thought, let's bring on some sisters who are really creating some amazing things and creating their world to talk to you. So welcome to Creating Your World at Black Women Anime Bootcamp 2020. I have some amazing guests with me today. I'm going to bring them up right now so that you can see their beautiful, you probably see them over here, but I want to bring them up so that you can get the full effect. Look at these beautiful women. Say hello.
Hi.
I have the Scott sisters joining me. I have Nia Imani and Tiana Monet, I have to get it right, Tiana Monet Scott. They're in Brooklyn in the house. And then down here we have the lovely Jackie A, who is joining us from Dallas, Texas. So the great thing, the silver lining about this whole thing is, even though we can't all be together in LA at the Nickelodeon headquarters at the boot camp, silver lining is we can be all over the world and just jam and do our thing. So welcome, ladies, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
Hey. A as in Jackie A. So the theme, like I said, the theme is creating your world. And, you know, we want our attendees for this session to really be inspired, to give themselves permission to think outside the box, right? To, you know, because that's what it's going to take to create the world for your characters that you want to present and that you want to see. Right. So I want to introduce both of your projects, because you guys have, going back to gallery view, you guys have amazing, amazing projects. So I'm going to just pull up the share screen real quick. And let's make sure we got this. You guys are tell me about yourselves while we're pulling it up. Scott sisters, let's start with you guys first.
Oh, you want me to go first? Well, my name is Tiana. I actually went to school for animation some years ago, and I worked in the field for a while, and then I decided to become a teacher because I didn't see enough people that looked like me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the best way to get kids to be inspired is to be a living example and going back to teach. So I went back to teach art, and we've been doing some really amazing things in art, and I'm actually going to teach kids how to animate during our session this year.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And I'm Nia Imani Scott. I'm currently a pre-K teacher, but I also have studied fine arts. I'm more into painting, but I have my sister's influence, so she's teaching me how to animate as well. So yeah.
Oh,
that is so dope. And then Jackie, you tell us about yourself real quick.
Okay, my name is Jackie A. I'm the head magical girl at Adorned by Chi. It's a brand that I started actually five years ago, exactly, pretty much. And I first started it with like $50, and now we are a pretty, I would say we're on our way to becoming a major franchise, because I'm speaking it into existence.
There you go. We are co-signed. I'm speaking it into existence for you too, as well. So, you know, I don't have to go to the first screen. It was basically saying creating your world. So you've all introduced yourself, but I want to pull up so that everyone can see the worlds that you guys have created. So is that on the screen? We see that. Yeah. So this is, the Scott sisters have created Happy Monster. So let's just talk about Happy Monster real quick.
All right.
About that. That's an amazing world. And the images are just mind blowing.
Oh, thank you. And it's almost like okay, I won't say almost, but kind of like with Adorned by Chi, we actually have a brand as well where we sell clothes and sneakers and stuff, and we wanted to expand. Well, I'll be honest, like the reason why we created Happy Monster was to create this Happy Monster. So we knew that we needed to have some type of leverage and be able to like show that what we have is will work and it's important. So yeah, I'm getting all nervous.
You are amongst family, you're amongst other creatives, you know, so it's okay. Just breathe, have a good time with it. That's amazing. Your images are amazing. So I'm going to bring up Jackie's, and then we're going to talk about, we're going to have a couple questions for you as far as creating your world. Is it Adaeze?
Adaeze.
Adaeze.
Yeah.
That was my first.
Yes, Adaeze is our main character.
Her magic girl power is empathy, and her magic guide is Chi-Chi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chi-Chi, the little brown poodle. But yeah, oh, you want to know more about the character or like the world as a whole?
Yeah, just tell us about her.
Okay, so Adaeze is kind of like when my friends read her character description, they're like, you're just writing about yourself. Because she has social anxiety, which is something that I know our community doesn't often talk about, things like, anxiety and depression openly and candidly. And so I thought it was important to have a character who also suffers with those things, who's maybe not the most confident, who second guesses herself, who doesn't just step into her role as this hero and instead is like dragged into it while crying. And so yeah, she is the main character. There's 4 others, and each one has their own like distinct personality, their own distinct power, and then each one is kind of like being trained and guided by an Igbo goddess, both real and fictional, because I did make some of it up. but um but yeah, I wanted to make sure to include like my Igbo culture. I know like a lot of African spiritualism is like demonized, so I wanted to like celebrate it in a fun and cute way. And also, I love the magical girl genre. I love when characters become more feminine, they become more powerful, and I wanted a story like that as well.
And can we just one time for just Black girl magic? Just
yes.
Exactly. I love that you've created this world with this magical character, but dealing with real issues, like you said, with social anxiety and depression, it is something that we don't talk about. So now you've created this world where your fans can maybe see themselves and realize they're not alone. So I think that's amazing. So that, I mean, basically that was the first introduction question, was describe your characters. Tiana and Nia, Imani, do you guys, is there anything you want to tell us about Happy Monsters, about your characters and the world you've created?
Well, the first thing that we thought of was when we were designing the world that we want to create is like the things that are important to us. So for us, we wanted to be able to show every girl from every region of the world because we don't have representation. So our personal quest for Happy Monsters is to actually have one girl from every region of the world represented. So
because we grew up in a melting pot of a city, so it seemed like growing up, we've always been around a diverse group. So we wanted to just make sure everyone was represented, and then we're like, also we wanted our leads to be 2 Black girls, because I feel like personally, I feel like when we watch shows, we're always like the side character. Why can't we be the lead? So we wanted to make sure we were in the forefront. And it's kind of like based off of us too.
Yeah, it's based off us
because we're each other's support system. So we really wanted that to be the story told,
with the sisters. Yeah. So like Happy is the one with the afro, and Monster's the one with the long twist. And like with Adaeze, I'll make sure I'm saying her name right. She deals with anxiety and depression as well. And I started thinking about my students that I have that deal with it on a day-to-day, like it's such a thing that's happening right now with adolescents. So with her, and it's also special to me, but with her, she's dealing with anxiety and depression. And throughout this series, you'll see Happy kind of help teach her grounding techniques and how to deal with the depression and anxiety and how to like go through it. But then you hear the flip side of Happy
and how living with someone with depression may affect them and how they internalize it. So it's really based off of like how we like what we've been through in life. So yeah, we flashes of it in the story.
And then sorry.
Similarities. No, that's okay. Some similarities with Jackie's inspiration. I mean, is this how you, through your art, is that a coping mechanism? Is that something how you kind of got through?
Yeah, it's definitely been a coping mechanism for us, and then it's also like for our students too. So we've showed everything that we've done to like our students to get their feedback, and they're honest. So it hits like all of the characters have very adult, not I won't say adult, but they have
generational, like each generation I feel like we've gone through, like we touch on sexuality, we touch on depression, we touch on
like I'll sorry, no, it's like for like we have a character Fifi who like represents Latinas or Latinx community, and she brings up like kidnapping, and because her brother is kidnapped, and it brings up the disparities between Black and brown kids being kidnapped at higher rates. We have Boa, who's from Sydney,
and she's learning about her sexuality, and her parents aren't exactly too fond of it, so she has to experience that on her own. We have Joy. I love her. She's like my baby. She's on the spectrum because I worked with kids with special needs, so I'm like, that's very close to me. Like, I'm about to cry, but I wanted that to be displayed properly. You know, they can be with other.
Yeah,
they can be with anybody.
You guys, this is revolutionary. I mean, we're not going to do a cry fest.
No.
But this is revolutionary.
Why not? We can.
It's okay, because I will, but I think it is so powerful because it's not only entertaining, but it's education, it's uplifting, it's edifying, and just letting the world that you're reaching, letting your fans know that it's okay. You're not alone. So it's powerful. I hope you realize that. Well, the second question that I want to ask all of you is, during this time of creative explosion in the animation industry, going beyond pitching your idea by presenting the vision is the way to get your project sold and seen by the masses. That's my philosophy. So what steps are you guys taking in presenting your vision to the studios and to the fans? So Jackie, do you want to go first? What steps are you taking?
Sure. When
and
it comes
to direct me and tell me, I'll pull up whatever you want so you can tell me.
Oh, you can pull up whatever you want.
Okay. Right. Well, you talk to me. Pull it up.
Okay. I can speak to like presenting to the fans. The way that I kind of did it was, I have this community, and we had like a tighter knit community on Facebook. And so I actually drew the Chi Chi character. And I was like, what's her story? And then I like created like a Daisy back when she was named Chiamaka, but and I would ask my customers like, what's her story? Like, and we would just kind of like go back and forth and have fun as a community, like building this character together. Like, I think that for me, it's like we're all in this together kind of thing. So I listen to like my customers and my community, and I'm like, okay, what kind of story do you want to hear? What kind of characters do you want to see, and everything like that. And I think that hands-on, like all hands-on, like getting people involved in the process of it definitely gets people excited. And that's how I've always presented everything. Is I'm definitely an oversharer to the maximum, but I also consider like my business journey to be a story. So with the story of the characters and the characters growing, there's also the story of us, and we're growing and I'm growing. And that's kind of how I've been bringing people into the world. Also, we have like a heavy focus on the characters and how distinct they are, personality wise, so that whatever kind of person you are, you have one that you connect with. We even have a character quiz on the site. Yeah, so if you take the quiz, then it tells you like which character are you most like and why.
We see these characters. So we met Ade Aze,
Hmm.
and who is this beautiful character?
Okay, so that's Gaga.
Okay.
She has the power of light. And next to her is her twin sister Kalechi, who has like gravity powers. Next to her is Kyra. She has water powers, and our soul man is a mecha, and he has like the power of like earth, fauna, flowers, and things like that.
Love it.
And each character is like directly inspired by people in my life that I actually know. So Gaga is like my sister. She is like a super bubbly people pleaser. She loves to dance. She loves to be the life of the party and
Mhm.
everything like that. But then if you do get her mad, like it's like it's a done deal.
It's on.
Yeah. And then Kyra is our like yogi. She like burns incense. She meditates, and she has like very specific like spiritual beliefs, and she's directly inspired by a friend of mine who's a yoga instructor who
Mhm.
does all of that. So yeah, each person, each character, it made it very easy to like write them as real people, because they low-key are real people. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that you allowed your community to get involved with helping
Mm-hmm.
create the world that these characters
Mm-hmm.
live in. That's positive. Tiana and Nia, do you mind if I just call you Nia, or is it Nia?
Tiana and Nia, it's fine.
But I'm giving you guys nicknames, Tia and Nia. Okay.
My
Tia,
grandma.
and Nia, same question for you all. What was your inspiration, or what were the steps that you took to present, your vision to your fans or to your students? Or
So I would say it's very similar to what Jackie said. So I won't really rehash what she said, because it's similar. Like, we asked them for feedback and questions like that. In terms of presenting it to studios, we haven't done that yet. So the steps that we are going to take is showing, again, leverage. So being able to show how much books we're able to sell. One of the reasons why we're able to get the AMU, Andrews McMill Universal publishing deal for 2 of the mangas was that during COVID, we were still able to raise a significant amount of money, meaning that there is a lack of what's needed in our community. So being able to do that, raise their interest in coming correct in terms of like making sure that everything is done. We had more than what they asked for. Yeah.
Okay.
Like we plotted out 26 books if they decide they wanted to do it. So like we've done everything. And also recognizing that when we do pitch these to studios, the first question that they're going to ask is, well, why should this be animated? It's because animation is very expensive. So being able to show that this can be a franchise, the fact that not only the core of us wants to represent every girl, but we also know that if we were to make like toys and stuff like that, and everyone is represented, so it can be a collectible item and you feel like you're represented.
And on screen, we have your characters.
Oh, yeah. So
is them left to right?
Yeah. So we have Joy. You want to talk about your baby?
Joy, she's from Hikaru no Machi, which is inspired by Tokyo. She's the character that is on the spectrum and just learning how to cope with just dealing with a very mature situation, as in you're a hero now. You're being thrown into this.
If you notice, she has headphones, which is another thing like we use in our school for kids that like it's weighted. So because it's weighted, it actually helps her, and she's like able to listen to music. It helps her when she's fighting, it soothes her
she's overwhelmed.
when she's
Oh,
overwhelmed.
wow. Okay.
So every character has a tick, and it's their personalities too. So she also has the power of fire, which is like everyone has like a dual power. So she has power in like kind of electricity too. And then we have happy,
which is kind of loosely based off of me. She's powerless, but she's also incredibly smart, and she learns how to navigate her life while like trying to keep the girls together, because she's kind of like the comic relief. She's small.
She's dealt with being bullied.
She's dealt with being bullied and even racism as well. But her nickname is Happy because she's like, it's okay, everything's always gonna be okay. So that's her angle.
That's her disposition in life. I love it.
Yep. And Monster is loosely based off of me. So she's the one that's like, she wants to protect her family at all costs, and she's like the more serious one of the two. But they all characters do not want to fight, and they're kind of thrown into the situation. All they want to do is just be kids. So she's dealing with depression and anxiety, and she kind of relies on Happy to kind of get her through that. And you can see her grow and like learn how to not overtake it, but understand it and cope with it, and also learn to ask for help. Then we have Fifi. Oh yeah, and Monster's power is like she controls earth, so like rocks, and she also controls electricity. So one thing that's really important is that all of their powers are based off of the environment that they're coming from, which goes into like the environmental factors. So like with Joy and Hikari no Machi, there's like
we can tell they're fighting giants. One of the first giants that she's fighting on her own, because before they meet each other, she's fighting a water-based giant. So she's her electricity is kind of like the opposite, so she can combat it. And the same with Monster. She's in the concrete city of New York, so that's why her powers are similar. Like it's
similar to it. Yeah. And then the giants are actually like representations of environmental issues that are happening in each area,
like pollutants and stuff like that.
Got it. Okay. All right.
With Fifi, she's from like Terra da Vida,
which is based off of
Brazil, like Brazil and like Rio de Janeiro. So like she has a younger brother that's been kidnapped, and she also like controls plants and like the ability to like clean air and stuff like that. So the first monster she fights is more like a smog. And she's also very hyper, and she likes to have fun. And our main mission is also to break all of the stereotypes that everyone has labeled on them. So she's not the fiery Latina, like she's not what you think she is. She's the complete opposite, and she's very sweet and caring, and they drive Monster insane. And there's Boa.
She's from
Seafoam
Coast, and it's inspired by Australia. She comes from like an affluent neighborhood, and her parents are like uppity, but she's kind of like more open to the world than her parents are. And she's the one that's dealing with her sexuality.
And she, during her journey, she also learns how to be an ally for people that don't look like her, and how to be an ally the right way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And her power is clearly water.
Yes, it's water.
Yeah. So they're going against giants that are like, it's like them facing their own fears.
The double entendre, the giants being their fears, conquering their fears, and also environmental things. And so that's so you said, you mentioned your publishing deal. So you all have a publishing deal right now?
Yeah.
You want to share a little bit about that, or how that, what does that mean for those who don't know what a publishing deal is?
Oh, okay. Well, you want to talk?
It all started with the Kickstarter, but
we're going to come to that. But I want to, so let's save that, because I do want to ask Jackie the same question, and then we'll go back into that, because I think that's really important to know how that Kickstarter helped you get your deal. So Jackie, let me ask you the same question. Basically the same question in presenting your vision and what steps are you taking to create your format? I mean, you've kind of talked about it, but yeah.
So currently we have a partnership with Madison Wells Media. They have produced movies like I believe it's called 21 Bridges and like Ender's Game and like,
Wow, yeah.
you know, films like that, but then also like stage productions like Hades Town and things. So they are kind of helping to elevate and kind of like develop the whole series for like books, TV. We want to get into toys. We want to get into, so basically like building that franchise that I said in the beginning.
That we've already spoken it into existence. So
Yes, the franchise that will be happening.
What steps did you guys take to create your pitch deck? And you know, since you guys are going to go first, I'll go ahead and pull up your pitch deck. So
okay, and then I guess we can like go through the animation and stuff after. He knew immediately, especially with my background in animation, that's what I went to school for. I wanted to make sure.
Where'd you go to school? Where'd you go to school?
I went to the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan.
SVA, okay, right.
SVA, yep. And I knew that I wanted to make a show eventually. So when we were coming up with the manga, I said the first thing we need to do is make a show Bible so that we know where we're going. We need a clear beginning, middle, and end. So we did our pitch Bible for like maybe for the first season, but we do have everything plotted out all the way up until like the last episode. Like we went through everything. So having a clear cut like idea and what you want is really important. So we also decided like, okay, we need to build on these characters. We need to know everything about them, what they like, what they don't like, what makes them laugh, what makes them smile. If we don't know these characters, then how are the audience going to know the characters? Right. So we need to breathe these characters like they need to be us. So,
I for example, you have Imani Rose on the page, Happy. You know her age, that she's 5'3", you know her birthday. I think that's so important just to know everything about these characters because you're introducing their world that you're creating. So you got to know all the details. You have her likes. She loves to roller skate. She loves gaming, tacos, the color purple. Hey, she loves J-pop. I love that. I mean, her dislike, she dislikes being lied to, feeling useless, not being able to solve problems. She dislikes fighting. And then her powers. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just love that you went into such detail.
And then you see our little baby there. So, right. So like making sure that you know, and especially your world too. So your characters is just as important as the world that you're creating around them. Where are they located? What are the characteristics of their world?
How does that influence who they are in the future?
Yeah. What are the things that happen in the world that are non-negotiables that you cannot break? Because it breaks the whole story. It's not believable. So making sure that you fully understand that and going through it and really setting it up is extremely important. So then you see the girls and their forms and stuff like that. And I think if you scroll down, you'll start seeing like I'm in the process of still making the map, but we already drew out the map because they live on a place that's kind of like Pangea. Everything is connected. So they're able to travel everywhere around the world. And these are just some of the characters that they're going to meet. They got like a whole group of other girls that they're going to meet eventually.
So is this the world right here that you're speaking of? Or?
Well, that's the first.
That's where the girls are from.
That's where the girls are from. So that's like, that takes place in Brooklyn. And then if you scroll down, I will talk about this one. This one's cool.
Right
there? Scroll back up where you see like the baby. So we thought this was really good too. We're not gonna give out too much, but like this is like a representation of Mother Earth. And one thing that's really cool about it, I'm probably gonna butcher how to spell it, but this is an actual thing that happens to babies in the womb, where when they're trying to protect their mother, they're actually calcified. And they calcify and it turns into like a hard rock. And and then, you know, unfortunately the baby's been lost, but that's the baby's last act of trying to protect its mother. So this is like a representation of Mother Earth, and if you look, it's like in a breech position, so it's a little bit off, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know if it's a villain or not, but
it's actually one of the most important
it's one of the most important parts of the story, is that, you know, this represents Mother Earth, and it's calcified for a reason.
And the girls have to figure out whether or not they're protecting or going against it.
Yeah, they have to figure out. We don't want to give out too much, but yeah.
But yeah, no, that's yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So these are some of the other characters. This is Liberty City, that was inspired by Brooklyn, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see your inspiration in creating your world for your characters. Obviously, you took your real life inspiration and put it in here, and then creating their environment. And so, you know, this is why pitch decks are extremely important. So I see here you already have your season breakdown, your episode breakdowns. So you're prepared should that studio, that network come calling. You're ready with stories, have you guys written scripts?
I will write,
right now we're writing
writing a manga.
We're writing a manga, but because we did this first, it actually makes it a lot easier to write the manga.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
And it'll help with the script as well, because we like bounce ideas off of each other, and we're just like sitting there typing. So yeah, it really helps to have a pitch.
The plan is for when we are ready to go to studios, and hopefully they'll like us, but when we do go to studios, you have at least one script completely written, just so that they can get a feel of it, which is why we also animated some scenes on our own as well, so they can kind of see how it feels, how it would look or feel for it to be animated.
And I'll pull that up for you too. Well, you did some animatics already.
Yeah, we did an animatic, and then today we got like a demo back, because we're working with like a really small studio too for our opening. There are things we want to change about it, but all in all, it's not that bad, given how small we are.
We're still going
it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
It's not small. It's pretty, and you have a big vision. It's pretty huge. I mean, you've done so much of the work. This is amazing. So Jackie, you can answer this question too. So crowdfunding. You both have done crowdfunding, and you know, crowdfunding is, I believe heavily in it, because I, you know, at one time a couple of years ago, crowdfunded to raise money to shoot a pilot presentation for it was an anthology series. And make a long story short, I raised the money, I did shoot it, and I ended up selling the project, and I got a pilot deal with Viacom. Well, that was years ago, and the project got put on
still a big deal.
Right. The project got put on the shelf, but you know, eventually I got the rights back. But the process, I went through the process. And so the same for you. It sounds like that's where you both are, both entities, that you guys have tapped into crowdfunding. Anybody want to go first on that?
So Jackie, you said you did it first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to add that in going through your deck, I was like, wait a minute, like I have something like this. I did not work in animation, so all of these terms and things, I'm like, oh, like, okay, I did do that. So I'm learning during this panel, honestly. But with the crowdfunding, I went to Kickstarter because, like I said, it's been like a hands-on experience with my customers and my community, and like what's a better way of like bringing them into the creation process than through Kickstarter, where they see it from like beginning to end. They see the updates, they see the problems, they see, you know, everything. And then they feel like they were a part of building something. And what I also love about Kickstarter is it's like a really good marketing vehicle. A lot of websites cover Kickstarters. It was a hard process though. Every single day of it, I'm not gonna lie, I had anxiety. But it was like a celebration when we finally reached our goal. And it was really nice getting everybody's stuff to them.
So you did your manga. You created a whole platform where people, your world basically, where what I like about the whole concept of creating your world is that you're not waiting for someone to give you permission or to give you the green light. You're going ahead and you're green light yourself. So your fans can get apparel. They can. I love this. I mean, I just love it. No,
yeah, I wanted a way to like combine my I wanted a way to combine my apparel business, that my existing business, with this new story I was creating. So I was like, okay, put characters in the apparel. And then also we have apparel that speaks to like the personality of each one. Like you can see they're modeling on the site too.
Yes, I love that. Cute.
Oh,
and I see you over here modeling too.
Let's ignore that.
Not at all. Adorable. I love it. I love it. So for you, for the Kickstarter, that's what it really helped you expand your world and expand your exposure and help it go global. Tiana and Nia, you want to tell us what your Kickstarter process was? Or did you do Kickstarter or did you do?
We did Kickstarter, but first I'm going to say thank you to Jackie because she knows I was messaging her and I'm like, I don't know if I should do this now. And she's like, do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Something that I did not mention is that like our cover image for our Kickstarter was done by Tiana. Yeah, so so yeah, because like our brands are in the nerd space, like, you know, we were familiar with each other. I was like, I like your art, so, you know, come on, let's do this.
I love that. My daughter is she's an animator. She's starting out. She's in the first year of college, and she does commissions. And she big on going to the anime conventions and things of that sort. And I see a similarity that they do fan art for each other. So is that the same thing that happened for you all? Is that how you got to know each other?
Yeah, definitely. I think through. Oh, go on.
Well, Mia. It all started with her.
I was a huge fan, and I still have your shirt. You probably didn't even know I have it, but
she has the shirts and the pins.
I need this, and then I don't know. It just felt like magic. Somehow she was like. Somehow she noticed us. I don't know how.
What do you mean?
Yeah, because you're amazing. That's
right.
One day she bought something from our store, and I was like, "Holy crap! What?"
It's because their stuff is really cute, and their pin designs are so like intricate and like really amazing, and they were like huge and so cool.
for our young creators, I mean, what steps did you guys I know we talked about creating your world, but even just to set up your social media, I mean, what did you do first? I mean, where do you go? I mean, do you go to where do you go? Do you for
right now, if you're like an artist, Instagram is good, but I would tell people to get on TikTok. Like record your processes and like put some cool music on it and throw it on TikTok, because I see people blowing up on TikTok every day by using it in creative ways. I am not an artist, so I guess I won't speak too deep about that, but like I personally would suggest like TikTok and Instagram. Things that are like visual mediums.
Where you can create your own gallery, I guess.
Yeah. So you guys, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I would also second that. Twitter, TikTok, we're trying to get into TikTok, but
we're trying to learn it.
We're still trying to learn it. But TikTok is really good because they haven't really created an algorithm yet that Instagram has, and it's kind of changed a lot. So if you look at the marketing aspect of it, Instagram has found a way to capitalize off of people's posts. So they figured out how to be able to suppress some of your stuff. So, because they want you to pay for marketing. So TikTok has not yet fully figured out how to do it. So I would recommend going on TikTok to kind of blow up a little bit faster.
But if you are on Instagram, I would say just building a community yourself, like just being interactive with your art. I noticed like a lot of artists, you just end up making friends with each other and you shout each other out. That's very important as an artist. So
you'll find a community and you'll find like friends and stuff that you love.
We found Jackie.
Well, Jackie found us. Well, we found each other.
We found each other.
Right. And that's why I call this session Creating Your World. You're creating a community, but you're really creating your world and how you operate and your philosophies and the mutual love. That's a world we all want to live in. I love that. So, real quick, why don't you tell us where can the BWA audience follow you on your social media platforms and websites?
You can find us on our website called Happy Monster MONSTAH.com. And on Instagram, we're happy_monster. Don't know why I put underscore at the beginning of this whole journey, but it's happy_monster MONSTAH.
Wonderful.
Hopefully later on we'll be posting more like snippets on YouTube. So it'll be happy on YouTube as well.
Oh, wonderful. That's on YouTube as well. Okay, great. Great. And Jackie, what about you?
You can find me, I guess, as a human, Jackie everywhere. So that's JACQUEAYE, and then you can follow Adorned by Chi, at Adorned by Chi everywhere. So that's ADORNEDBYCHI. Yeah, we're also on TikTok, but have absolutely no videos. But eventually, once I crack the Gen Z code, I will. Videos.
So I want you guys to be inspired. You guys are the living embodiment of what the theme is, creating your world. And a dear friend of mine, Matthew A. Cherry, did the same thing with Hair Love, right? He started as on Kickstarter and won the Academy Award last year for Best.
I saw that.
Right? And so now that has opened the doors for him to, they're doing a new project, an animated project with HBO. And I believe that the same kind of success is going to be there for both of your projects. And I wish you just amazing, huge success because it's so powerful and I can't stress it enough. I love the fact that you're addressing real issues. Yes, these are pretty aspirational characters, but you're dealing with real issues that folks are dealing with and that, people of color, the Black community especially, maybe, not comfortable dealing with or talking about. And you guys are going to change the world by creating your world. So thank you so much just for being you.
No, thank you.
Oh, I just love it. I mean, you guys have given permission. So once again, I mean, that's what this session is all about is encouraging artists and writers. And so real quick, I wanted to say, Jackie, so you are not an animator, you are a writer and you've created, so you've just basically collaborated with
yeah, so I would definitely say that I'm a business owner first and then writer. Well, I've always written like for myself, but it's like, well, who else is gonna write this thing? Because I don't have the budget to hire somebody else to do it. So I went through and created the world myself. So yeah, I have a very kind of unique situation where it's like, I guess we're both under this where it's like business owner / writer, but yeah, so I'm all about collaborating with artists.
I love it. I mean, a lot of times, and I get the question from people who have concepts, but they're not artists. So where do they go to find you all? I mean, how do they find, oh, I want someone to, illustrate this character for me or what have you? What is that, what's that process?
So there is, okay, I think the hashtag is drawing while Black.
Oh,
do you guys know that? Yeah. So the the girl's name, I believe, is Annabelle
Mhm.
Hanford. And I hope I'm saying this right. Oh my gosh. But she actually created this hashtag, and through the hashtag created a directory
Woo!
that is full of Black artists. It's separated by I think like art style or like the medium that they do art in. So there's animators, there's pixel artists, there's like traditional artists and things like that, and they are all Black. So there's like,
And so that is
yeah.
perfect. It falls right in theme with Taylor K. Shaw's vision with Black Women Animate, which is to create this world, this database, this pipeline. So I love that. I love that you shared.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
we're gonna all work together and do this thing. We're gonna take over the world. That's what we're gonna do.
Oh yes.
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 And
So
we're gonna
who runs
walk
the
on a pink
world?
carpet.
Yes.
We're always talking about our pink carpet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Not a red carpet, pink
The
carpet.
pink carpet. Well, our time is drawing near, but I wanted to just say thank you so much for being fearless and being dynamic and just taking that creative leap of faith, because if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. So we need you to do that. And thank you for being a shining example for young women all over the world globally. This is revolutionary, and you guys are going to change lives with your gifts and your
Oh,
talents.
thank you. Just like you've done.
Yeah.
So,
But we just pay it forward. You guys make me proud. So this has been our creating your world session here at the Black Women Animate Bootcamp 2020. And I hope you have been inspired. I'm Stacey Evans Morgan, and enjoy the rest of the boot camp and go out there and create your world. Boom. And thank you to my panelists today, Tiana Monet Scott and Nia Imani Scott and Jackie A.
hey.
Jackie.
Okay. Peace out, everybody.